Morning. I am Alfredo Mahar Lagmay, professor at the National Institute of Geological Sciences and executive director of the University of the Philippines Resilience Institute. I will be talking briefly about the past, present, and future disasters in the Philippines. The Philippines is prone to weather-related and other natural geological events, mainly due to its location. The Philippines is within the active volcanic region known as the Pacific Ring of Fire and is located in the geologically unstable region between the Pacific and Eurasian tectonic plates. We have earthquake-related hazards, volcano-related hazards, and hydrometeorological-related hazards. The country is a hotbed of disasters that cause thousands of casualties and damage to properties. Disasters related to earthquakes and volcanism will be a constant threat as it was before. For hydrometeorological hazards such as floods, rain-triggered landslides, storm surges, strong winds, and droughts, they are projected to become worse compared to what we have experienced. As such, disasters are also expected to become worse. Compounding the threat of floods are the predicted impacts of climate change, which already manifests in records as increased rainfall, higher temperatures, more intense cyclones, and rising sea levels, among others. Given the current trend on greenhouse gas emissions, conditions are yet to become worse and anticipated to impair development and heighten the vulnerability of communities to natural hazards. Increasingly frequent and widespread flooding, among others, necessitates preparation of action plans to adapt and build resiliency against these adverse impacts. We've been compiling the list of disasters in the written record. This is an example for Mindanao, and we would like to do the same for Luzon and Visayas. The idea is for Filipinos to have an appreciation of disasters that have happened in their community and for them not to forget the lessons from these disasters. Learning from the previous initiatives, scholars have been encouraged to write social studies, civica modules, one that clearly and justly integrates disasters in Philippine history and culture to promote safety against natural hazards and resilient development. Such process may be enriched by the inputs from the advocates, teachers, school administrators, parents, students, writers, and publishers. Of course, we've had a lot of disasters that are still fresh in our memory. Some of the more infamous ones are the 2006 Ginsaugon landslide in Leyte, 2006 Riming Lahars along the slopes of Mayon volcano, Typhoon Frank in 2008 which devastated Iloilo, the 2011 Sendong disaster in Cagayan de Oro and Iligan, Mindanao, the storm surges generated by Typhoon Yolanda in 2013, the most powerful storm recorded in the world, and the Typhoon Pablo debris flows that overwhelmed Barangay Andap in New Bataan, Compostela Valley. The challenge for all of us is to be able to anticipate the hazards that may strike any barangay in the country. Disasters unfold in different ways, and the hard lessons are learned only after they have unfolded. It is important that we do not repeat the same mistakes and improve on the practices we know that work. So far, we have been able to reduce the number of fatalities from hydrometeorological hazards. According to the EM.DAT International Database on Disasters, we've had on average about 1,250 deaths per year from 1986 to 2013. The Philippines was able to reduce that from 250 deaths per year on average for the period 2014 to 2021. However, in terms of losses and damages, we have not that been as effective. On average, we have incurred losses amounting to billions of dollars per year and has remained the same for the entire period from 1986 to 2021. This should be addressed, and in my mind, can only be addressed through proper planning of communities that can anticipate future hazards. This should include those hazard events that are projected to be more devastating due to climate change. Disasters are manifestations of unresolved problems of development, and we can only meet the sustainable development goals if we plan our communities well. Anticipating hazard events that are bigger than what we have experienced and mainstreaming that information in the development plans of all Philippine communities exposed and vulnerable to natural hazards and the adverse impacts of climate change.